April 2026 trials, May court dates, potential 15-year sentences. Real Housewives aren't just facing charges anymore, they're actually going to prison. From insurance fraud to embezzlement, these women could spend years behind bars. Updated through March 2026, here's who's facing prison time and what really happened. The Real Housewives franchise has officially become as much true crime as reality television. As of March 2026, multiple housewives are staring down prison sentences that could last over a decade. The difference between 2026 and previous years is that these aren't just investigations or arrests. These are active trials with court dates set, evidence presented, and prosecutors ready to send these women to federal or state prison. From Wendy Ofo's May 2026 trial that could result in 15 years to housewives currently on supervised release after serving time. This is the complete breakdown of who's actually facing prison in 2026, what they're accused of, and what happens next. Wendy Oo from Real Housewives of PTOAC faces the most serious active criminal charges of any current housewife. On October 9th, 2025, Wendy and her husband Eddie Oifo were arrested at their Finburg, Maryland home and charged with 16 counts of fraud. Wendy faces 16 total charges while Eddie faces 18. 7 of Wendy's charges are felonies on each carrying up to 15 years in prison. The charges stem from an alleged burglary that Wendy and Eddie reported to Carroll County Sheriff's deputies on April 7, 2024, after returning from vacation in Jamaica. According to court documents and prosecutor statements, the couple claimed thieves had ransacked their bedroom and closets while they were away, stealing over $450,000 worth of designer handbags and jewelry. They specifically reported that designers like Hermes, Chanel, and Louis Vuitton items had been taken from their home. Eddie submitted statements to 2 insurance companies listing the allegedly stolen items and requesting payment for the loss. But when deputies and detectives investigated the burglary claim, they found major problems with the Oifo story. Carroll County Sheriff James DeWeiss revealed during an October 10, 2025 press conference that investigators were a little suspicious from the moment they responded to the couple's home. Our deputies found no signs of forced entry and no physical evidence of an intruder. The house had internal sensors and cameras that detected no motion in conjunction with when the alleged burglary happened. When detectives reviewed purchase records and examined the couple's social media and email accounts, they discovered something shocking. The OOS had returned roughly $20,000 worth of the allegedly stolen items to stores where they'd purchased them before the burglary supposedly occurred. Even more damning, detectives found images of Wendy wearing jewelry that had been reported stolen after the alleged burglary took place. One photo on social media clearly showed her wearing a diamond ring she'd claimed was taken by thieves. When deputies searched the Oifos' house on the day of their arrest, they found another 15 items that had been reported stolen still in the home. Evidence suggests the couple filed a fraudulent insurance claim to get paid for items they either still had or had already returned to stores for refunds. At a contentious hearing in December 2025, prosecutor Melissa Howenmith told Carroll County Circuit Court Judge Richard R. Titus that the couple actually has very little money despite their appearance of wealth on television. An investigation revealed they are burdened by substantial debt. Prosecutors claimed the Oifos have approximately 40 credit or debit cards, some of which are believed to be in company names. They've also allegedly used aliases, including Pam Oliver and Eddie Hennessy, in what prosecutors called a deliberate attempt to mask their identity. The state requested 8 years' worth of the OSFO's personal and business financial records to establish a motive and prove what they call a pattern of excessive spending. The defense team fought these subpoenas, calling them a fishing expedition. Wendy's attorney, Jeremy Eldridge, insisted there's no evidence that the OOS are in financial distress and that the state is trying to develop a motive by requesting irrelevant information. But on December 19, 2025, Judge Titus ruled in favor of the state, ordering Wendy and Eddie to turn over the financial documents. The prosecution successfully argued that the public has an interest in these crimes and ensuring justice is done. Then on March 4, 2026, during a court appearance, it was decided that Wendy and Eddie would be tried separately rather than together. According to Tia Faisong, host of the What Else Is Going On podcast, who attended the hearing, Wendy did not waive her right to a speedy trial. However, she will likely have to wait until May 2026 before her case is before a jury. Eddie, meanwhile, chose to waive his rights to a speedy trial, meaning his trial will come later. The upcoming trials are expected to run for 4 days each, with 1 day set aside for the defense. Because the value of the Osho's alleged false claims to the insurance company are above $300, it's considered a felony in Maryland, and each count can result in up to 15 years in prison. They could also be required to pay fines of up to 3 times the value of their claim, or $10,000, whichever amount is greater. Legal analyst Brian Buckmere noted that with Wendy facing 16 charges and 7 of those being felonies, each one carrying up to 15 years in prison, these allegations are serious. Wendy has maintained her innocence throughout. At BravoCon 2025 in November, she told fans, "I read your messages. I can't respond to everyone, but your love and support means the world to me." During the Real Housewives of PTOIC Season 10 reunion that aired on February 15, 2026, cameras showed emotional footage filmed 1 week after the arrest. Wendy revealed she spent the night in jail and that she is not okay. "I feel like I'm in a constant nightmare." She told Eddie, "I was so scared. I was just worried about the kids. I'm so scared for them." She shared heartbreaking details about how the arrest affected their 3 children. Her daughter Cameron called while Wendy was in the holding cell, innocent and confused, just happy to hear her mother's voice. Most painfully, Wendy revealed that her son Carter saw everything on his phone, including the mugshots, and went to sleep with it without telling anyone. "What hurt me the most was that he saw it and he didn't tell my mom and my sister. So he went to sleep with it," Wendy said through tears. She's since begun updating her children about their case so they aren't left in the dark. Her RHP castmate, Karen Huger, who served 6 months in prison herself in 2025, gave Wendy stern advice during the reunion. "You're talking too much, Wendy. I'm begging you to stop talking. I do not want you to go to jail. Take it from the Karen you used to like, because when you talk, they watch. They hear you." The warning came from someone who learned the hard way about how everything you say can be used against you when facing criminal charges. As of March 2026, Wendy's trial is set for May 2026. If convicted on all charges, she faces the possibility of decades in prison. Her teaching career at Wesleyan University, where she worked as a distinguished visiting professor of sociology until her arrest is presumably over. Her contributions to The Hill and MSNBC have stopped. Her PhD from Rutgers University and her impressive academic credentials can't protect her from potential prison time. The prosecution has evidence including returned items, social media photos, financial records showing debt, and 40 credit cards. Wendy claims police carried out an illegal arrest and has filed motions requesting evidence be suppressed. But unless those motions succeed or she negotiates a plea deal, she's heading to trial in May, where a jury will decide if she goes to prison. Jen Shah from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is technically already sentenced and serving time, but her case remains relevant for 2026 because of confusion around her actual release date. Jen was sentenced in January 2023 to 78 months, which is 6.5 years in federal prison for conspiracy to commit wire fraud. She began serving her sentence in February 2023 at Federal Prison Camp Bryan in Bryan, W, Texas. Her original release date was set for August 2026. However, Jen's sentence was reduced multiple times for good behavior and participation in programs. She received reductions in March of 2023, October 2024, January 2025, and August 2025. In November 2025, People magazine reported that the Federal Bureau of Prisons moved Jen's release date up to December 10, 2025, meaning she would serve only 2 years and 9 months, less than half her original sentence. But there was massive confusion because the BOP website still showed a 2026 release date, even after the People report. On December 10, 2025, Jen was indeed transferred from federal prison camp Bryan to a community confinement program overseen by the Phoenix Residential Reentry Management Office. This means she's either in home confinement or in a halfway house, not completely free. Her projected final release date, according to some sources, is still August 30, 2026. So, while Jen is no longer in federal prison, she remains under Bureau of Prison Supervision through at least August 2026. She still has to complete her community confinement program and will be on supervised release for 5 years after her projected final release. Karen Huger from Real Housewives of PTOAC already served her prison sentence but remains under supervised release through 2026. Karen was involved in a car accident on March 24, 2024, where she crashed her car into a tree. She was charged with driving under the influence, driving while impaired, negligently driving a vehicle in a careless and imprudent manner, endangering property life in person, and recklessly driving a vehicle. She was found guilty in December 2024 on all charges except reckless driving. Court records revealed this wasn't Karen's first DUI offense. She had 3 previous drunk driving offenses on her record, which influenced the sentencing decision. In February 2025, Karen was sentenced to 2 years in jail with 1 year suspended, meaning she only had to serve 1 year behind bars. She served approximately 6 months at a Maryland prison before being released early on September 2, 2025 for good behavior. Season 10 of Real Housewives of PTOIC filmed without Karen while she was incarcerated. Her release was filmed as the final episode of the season alongside a sit-down interview with Andy Cohen. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Season 10 executive producer Joshua Brown said, "We've been really happy to see how she's doing since being released from prison and really support her on the journey." Part 1 of RHP's reunion delivered a season-high 2 million total viewers across platforms after 7 days, marking the show's most watched episode in nearly 2 years. But Karen's freedom comes with conditions. She's on probation and under supervised release through 2026. Any violation of her probation terms could send her back to prison. She cannot drink alcohol to excess. She must submit to testing, and she has to meet with her probation officer regularly. Karen attended Bravo 2025 and has returned to filming for season 11, but she remains under the criminal justice system's supervision. 1 mistake, 1 failed test, 1 violation sends her back. Mia Thornton, former Real Housewives of PTOIC star who departed after season 9, was arrested on November 19, 2025 at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. She was booked into Fulton County Jail on charges of felony theft by taking in connection with alleged furniture theft worth over $11,000. According to police reports, Mia had been renting a furnished luxury condo in Atlanta that she vacated on October 28, 2025. The condo owner, who lives overseas, filed a police report through a property manager claiming that Mia and her ex-boyfriend, Jared McGriff, suddenly moved out in the middle of the night and took all the furniture. Items allegedly stolen included a television, dining room table, 7 dining room chairs, 2 accent chairs, radios, DVD players, and other goods valued at over $11,000. The condo was a 2,000 square feet unit with 3 bedrooms and 3 baths that rented for approximately $7,000 per month. Body camera footage captured Mia's emotional arrest at the airport. In the video, she's seen crying and asking officers if she could make a phone call to someone who allegedly has the key to a storage unit where the furniture is located. She told officers she just wanted to put the furniture back and that she'd sent several emails requesting to return the items. She vented her frustration referencing her roommate. Why the footage shows she was aware there was a warrant out for her arrest before officers detained her. Mia was released on $2,500 bond and waived her first court appearance. Under Georgia law, theft by taking is classified as a felony when the value of stolen property exceeds $1,500. With the furniture valued at $11,000, Mia faces serious charges that could result in prison time if she's convicted. She broke her silence on November 25, 2025, timed posting cryptic messages on Instagram celebrating her 41st birthday. She wrote about choosing composure over chaos and grace over noise. As of March 2026, Mia's case is still working its way through the Georgia court system. Her next court date hasn't been publicized, but given the felony nature of the charges and the value involved, she faces potential prison time if convicted. This came just months after she'd announced leaving Real Housewives of PTOIC to pursue a fresh start in Atlanta. Her Atlanta chapter ended with an airport arrest and felony charges. From Wendy's May 2026 trial facing 15 years to Jen Shah's community confinement through August to Karen's supervised release, Real Housewives are actually going to prison in 2026. These aren't rumors or investigations. These are convictions, trials, and sentences that will define their futures. Subscribe for trial updates.